Hey, everybody. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. This is where we talk about all things midlife, hormones, and figuring out how to survive this wild ride with our sanity intact. Hopefully, that's the end goal, right? So today we're tackling something that every midlife woman has experienced, but there's not a lot of people that are warning us about this or talking to us about this. And this is the hormonal chaos and the mood swings that come with it. 1 minute we're laughing at this hilarious meme, and the next we're crying because we went to sip our coffee and it's now cold. And then suddenly you're yelling at your partner because they are breathing, right? Does this sound familiar? If you've ever felt like you're living in someone else's body or that your emotions are out of control for no apparent reason, guys, this episode is for you. Today, we are going to break down one, why hormones are turning our emotions into roller coasters. Two, the sneaky symptoms of hormonal imbalance that no one is talking about. And three, simple science-backed ways to bring the balance back without giving up your coffee or running away to hide in the woods, as really tempting as that is right now, okay? So let's just dive right into this. Let's start with why. Why is this happening? Why is my body going from super happy to super sad or all over the place? Because if you're feeling like you're losing your mind, let me assure you, you are not. It's most likely has something to do with your hormones and not just you. In midlife, estrogen and progesterone, the two hormones that keep things balanced, start to really fluctuate, right? Like the stock market's about to crash. So when estrogen drops, it can lead to some things, and there's some big red flags. You'll see things like mood swings that make zero sense, that crying to super happy to all over the place, the brain fog so thick that you forget everything. Like, why am I here? What am I doing in this room? Anxiety, this is a big one that shows up. It'll come out of nowhere. And then when our progesterone levels start to dip, you might experience some of these red flags, things like trouble sleeping, that 3 a.m. wake up that makes no sense. And you're sitting there in bed and you're having this existential crisis because why am I awake right now? And what is going on in my brain, right? Another red flag is the irritability that makes you want to scream at inanimate objects. I literally had a case of this the other day. I could not get the tap to do what I wanted it to do. It's loose, it's garbage. I was like, ugh. And I literally was like, you stupid piece of crap. And I'm like, it's a tap. It doesn't know I'm mad at it. Right? And then another huge red flag is more stress than usual over things that used to feel super minor, right? So maybe there's a thing that you used to be like, oh, it's an annoyance, but then all of a sudden it becomes this really deep, heavy, stressful occurrence, and you just don't understand why. Right. And here's the kicker. These hormones don't just all of a sudden, nicely gradually decline for most of us. No, they spike and they play games with you, and then they go all over the place. Thanks, Mother Nature. That was so kind of you to do that. So if you feel like you're kind of waking up a different person every single day, trust me, you're not imagining it. Okay. There are some really sneaky symptoms of hormone imbalance that we just don't really think about. You may have, the obvious, the mood swings, those things are really super obvious, but you may not be seeing some of these other things. So let's talk about some of these sneaky ways that our hormones cause kind of some chaos within our body and that we may not realize. So the number one thing, and ladies, I've talked to so many of you that were like, this is happening to me, and I'm like, yeah, it's hormones. And you're like, no, it's not hormones. Your digestion. Okay. Are you eating food that all of a sudden, you used to have no problem with, and all of a sudden you're super sensitive to? Are you getting bloated for no good reason? Like you're like, I ate an apple today and now I'm bloated as heck. Like, why am I bloated from an apple? Or, are you, feeling like everything I'm eating is literally fighting my body, fighting back? This can be a sign of an estrogen imbalance. I'm going to give you a little personal story here. I'm a meat eater. I love to eat, I love to eat basic, but I love to eat meat. Okay. So I love a good chicken. I love a good, barbecue chicken is one of my favorite things. So about a month and a half ago, I started to notice that here I was eating chicken and then getting really sick afterwards. And I thought, oh my gosh, it must be like that chicken was bad, or maybe, we had fried chicken. So I was like, maybe it's because it's fried chicken that's making me feel not so great. Like I had all the reasons. And then I started to notice even the chicken that we were making at home was not making me feel great. And I say chicken because that is the easiest, most accessible meat protein here where I am. So that was the one that we have been eating a lot of, and I just couldn't eat it. I could not eat it. And then like the smell of it cooking started to turn my stomach, which is hilarious because I love to cook chicken. So here I am, cooking chicken and my stomach's like, no, this is not good. So 3 days ago, I just decided, okay, no more. I'm just not gonna have the meat proteins. And let me tell you, last night at dinner, I made this super tasty, crunchy rice and bean thing. It's from my cookbook, my vegan 28-day strategy cookbook. It was so delicious, and I had none of the symptoms I usually have been feeling after dinner. Okay. So what that's telling me is that my digestion, my estrogen is off and my digestion is being affected by it. Okay. So that's a major thing that we don't really talk about. We think we have IBS, or we all of a sudden I'm dairy intolerant, or all of a sudden I'm gluten intolerant, when the fact is, yeah, you are, but it's related to those midlife hormones. Okay. The next thing that we often don't talk about is our motivation and our energy, right? This is a big one. And I have heard and I've seen, I'm in a lot of perimenopause groups online, and there's some great chats going on. And I have seen other women say to women, you're just lazy. The reason why you don't have motivation or energy is because you're lazy. Ladies, your hormone imbalance literally can zap the energy from you. It can steal your motivation. It can steal your energy. This is a thing that is happening to so many of us, okay? Some days we are absolutely freaking crushing it, right? Those hormones are on par. We're good. We're like back when we were 20, we feeling fantastic. And then other days, Lord help us, by 10 a.m. in the morning, we're like, is it bedtime, right? So this can be a big indicator that your hormones are on a roller coaster and that you might want to do some things to address it, right? The next big thing that we don't often talk about is your ability to handle the stresses, everyday stresses, the things that normally don't stress you out, those things around you, right? Things that used to be manageable are suddenly completely overwhelming, right? You're used to your morning routine and having to get out the door by a certain time, and then all of a sudden that becomes so overwhelming that you just can't figure out how to do it. That may be an indication that you are not handling your stress well because your hormones all over the place. Okay. Another major thing that starts to happen is changes to our hair and our skin. We get, sometimes dry skin, we get breakouts, our hair starts thinning. This can all be hormone related symptoms. So if these things are starting to happen, take note of them. When is it happening? When is it like, for example, just before my last period started, I got acne. Like a teenager. I broke out like a teenager, and I still have a pimple left over. It was horrendous. Noya, do you mind not joining the podcast? So I switched to record the podcast into the spare bedroom because it's quieter here, and I did not shut the door apparently, and the dogs have all come in to join. So if you hear them, I apologize. Or if you're watching this on the video one and you see, noses bumping into the microphone, that's what's going on. But let's get back to the podcast. Are you ready to turn your wildest dreams into reality? Manifest That Shit is the ultimate guide to aligning your energy, shifting your mindset, and making it all happen. I had the honor of co-authoring this powerhouse book alongside some incredible women sharing raw, real stories and how they've made it work. If you're tired of wishing and ready to start doing, grab your copy now. Links in the show notes, and let's manifest that shit together. Okay. So take note of these things. I'm a big advocate for tracking your cycle and tracking your symptoms. Even when your cycle it has waned, or maybe it's starting to disappear, maybe you're skipping months, all this you want to look at, because these are indicators of what is going on with your hormones. Okay. And if you're going to go see like maybe you have a functional medicine doctor or a natural practitioner or your family doctor, having these things is going to help you to advocate for yourself, right? I have a friend that has been fighting with her doctor that she's in perimenopause, and she's saying things like, this is what's happening. But because she has everything written down, she can go through the symptoms with her doctor. Her doctor has yet to admit that this is perimenopause. Her doctor is fighting her on that, but that's a whole nother podcast. Okay. But having these symptoms written down, knowing what's going on in your body, this is really going to help you advocate for yourself. And most of us don't actually realize that a lot of these things are connected to our hormones. We're just thinking we're falling apart. How many times have we said things like, oh, I'm 40 now, everything's falling apart? No. The good news is this is something that you can absolutely do something about, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about solutions and strategies that you can use to start to really live the best life in your mid 40s. So, we can't stop it. We can't stop this process of changing of these things. And why would you want to? It's actually a privilege if you think about it. Not everyone gets the opportunity to grow old, right? I lost some people very, very close to me that I've loved so dearly before they had the opportunity to grow old and to go through menopause and perimenopause. And so I count this as a privilege that I am aging through this. That is a privilege. And that doesn't mean that I'm just going to sit here and accept all the stupid, messed up symptoms that my body keeps throwing at me. No, let's work on the strategies that can make this phase of life, maybe more manageable or more tolerable some days. Maybe it's just tolerating some days, right? The number one thing, and you guys, if you've listened to me before, you already know what it is I'm going to say to you. The number one thing, start your day with protein and healthy fats. Please, 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 please ditch the sugar and caffeine filled breakfasts. Don't ditch the coffee. Have a protein coffee or something like that. Okay. Ditch the caffeine and sugar filled breakfasts. And, that sugar spike first thing in the morning is going to fast track you into the mood swings, the anxiety, and the energy crashes. If you start to swap out things like your toast and jam for maybe you have eggs, avocado, a really good protein smoothie, healthy fats like nuts, seeds, and olive oils, add those to your breakfast and your meals at the beginning of your day. These things are actually going to really help you guys. In my recipe book, I have my happy healthy hormones granola that has such good proteins and fats in it. Sprinkle that on your protein yogurt. What an amazing way to start your day. If you don't know any of these recipes, if you're like, what is she talking about? I post a weekly recipe on the blog, so you can go there, you can type in recipe, and there's a ton of recipes available for you. There's also the cookbooks. They are on all Amazon marketplaces. You can grab the 28-day strategy cookbook, has a meal plan for your whole cycle of your period, and it is an amazing tool and resource to help you start to implement adding more protein, adding these healthy fats, supporting your nutrition in a way that is going to help your body navigate these things. Okay. Why? Because if you stabilize your blood sugar, you are going to stabilize your mood. Okay. This means that you're going to have fewer moments of wanting to throat punch people. This is important. You are too pretty to be in prison. Okay. Don't go to prison. You want to stabilize your blood sugar. Okay. Number 2, manage your stress before it takes over managing you. This is a big one. yes, stress is always going to be there. How are you managing it? Okay. Your cortisol levels, that stress hormone, it is literally wreaking havoc on your midlife body. It is causing things like the abdominal weight gain. It is causing things like the migraines, the mood swings. It is causing you to feel like shit. So start managing it. Something you can do. Deep breathing exercises, 5 deep breaths before you react to any of that stress. This, guys, life changing. Okay. I am a quick to react kind of person. That's just who I am. I've always just kind of been like, fuck, right? Right? That's who I am. So if I take that, when I take the opportunity to use this tool, sometimes you realize what you want to say and how you want to react is not the best choice. So try this out. 5 deep breaths before you react. Number 2, adaptogens like ashwagandha or maca root or saffron. Guys, these are natural stress supporting herbs and they actually work. You guys have heard me talk at length, if you're in my groups, about my Inner Calm supplement. Okay. My Inner Calm has ashwagandha and saffron root in it. It literally is like a chill pill for me. And every one of my clients that has stepped up and ordered this for themselves as a supplement to care for their bodies, every single one of them has said that this has been game changer for them. Okay. Number three, yes, prioritize your sleep. Okay. Broken sleep makes everything else worse. Find a habit stacked sleep routine that works for you. I have many of these resources available in the Facebook group. Head there, grab them, type in sleep, and you will find many resources available on how to habit stack a sleep routine that allows you to rest into a nice, deep, beautiful sleep. Okay. Another way that you can start to really do better for your body is to move daily. Don't overdo it. Okay. Here's a little known fact that excessive, crazy cardio, like back home, Orange Theory, excessive cardio. They can actually, this type of exercise, especially if you are in a hormone chaos superstorm, this is going to potentially cause a massive spike in cortisol. And then you're going to make your hormones even more imbalanced, make that hormone imbalance even worse. Okay. What I want you to think about when you're in these like high intensity, high cardio classes, your body doesn't know the difference between you cycling super fast to get away from a dangerous threat or you cycling super fast to get away from the booty that's attached itself, to your backside. It doesn't know the difference. Okay. This is why I see so many women my age that are like, I am doing spin and blah, blah, blah cardio 5 days a week and I'm getting fatter. Yes. Cause your body is like, what's happening? Why are we so afraid of this tiger? Why do we need to run all the time and run away from it? Right. I know some people that do marathon training, and this is not proven, but I'm just talking on the clients that I have worked with. Okay. And what I have observed. So I have yet to find a scientific study on this, but I would love to do a scientific study on this. My clients and people that run just to train for distance, they don't care about time. They just like go for a nice run. They eventually want to get to a full marathon, but they're taking their time. They're not pushing anything. Those people seemed to build better stress resistance, lose weight, lose the excess. Whereas those of the people that I worked with I didn't run train them, but I was working alongside their run training that were going for like intense, I got to get faster. I got to get faster. Those people actually found that they were gaining weight, right? Their body was holding on to the weight and getting bloated. So it's something to consider. So instead of focusing on crazy amounts of cardio, I want you to start focusing on your strength training. When you build muscle, You support your metabolism, and muscle is the fountain of youth, guys. The stronger you are heading into your aging body, the better off you're going to be, right? You need to be able to lift yourself up and out of bed. You need to be able to lift yourself off the shitter. You need to be able to bring the groceries in and out, okay? So focus on the strength training. Another great thing to consider is walking or stretching, yoga, this kind of stuff that keeps your stress levels in check, keeps you calm and balanced, right? Because movement should be something that is supporting what your body needs, not draining it. If you finish your workout and you feel drained and you feel like crap, that's an indicator that that wasn't a great workout for you. If you finish your workout and you're like, yeah, I feel fantastic. Yes, you may be tired. Like when I do my strength training, sometimes I am tired afterwards, but I don't feel drained and I don't feel like crap. Okay. So really check in with yourself when you're doing your movements. Also, number 4, consider supplement support. You guys know I'm a huge advocate for supporting your body with the proper supplements, right? If your hormones are really out of whack, if you are feeling all these things and you're sitting here going, check, 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 me too, I want you to consider some things. 1, add that magnesium at the end of your day, okay? You guys, I've shared with you so many times the magnesium powder that I take before I go to bed. It's the Arbonne one, super clean, super amazing. It helps with sleep. It helps with mood. It helps with your stress. All those things are vital. Get a good sleep. We talked about how sleep is one of the most important things, right? Then we also want to look at things like omega-3s, good healthy fats for your brain health if you're getting that brain fog. Look at taking these or supplementing with foods that are high in good fats for the brain. Okay. We also talk a lot about collagen and protein powders. Why? Because, guys, our midlife bodies need extra protein. Okay. I know I say it all the time. So a good protein source. I absolutely love the Arbonne Simply One vanilla protein powder. It is my go-to for everything. I put it in my yogurt. I put it in my coffee. I put it in, obviously, smoothies. I put it in my baking. It is a plant-based protein. It's got no gluten, no GMOs. It is super, super clean. I know that that protein going into my body is going to be used properly. Okay. So then there's these small shifts that we can do. It doesn't have to be this massive overtaking. There are small shifts that you can do that'll start to make a huge difference right now in how you feel. Okay. I guarantee you, if you're listening to this and then you decide tomorrow morning when I get up, I'm having a really good protein breakfast first thing in the morning, head to my shop, grab the digital download of the cookbooks, get those really good protein dense breakfast in your body. You're going to notice that day feels different. That day feels better. Okay. So now that's a lot of information. I hope you wrote it down. I hope you have your pen and paper handy. Okay. So midlife hormone struggles are real. Guys, I'm right here with you. Okay. I want to share with you now what is helping in my own hormone saga. Okay. Let's talk about this. I'm going to share my own because you know what? Let's be honest. I'm not just here to give you advice. I am here in the freaking trenches with you. I am doing this alongside so many of you. Okay. The reality, some days I wake up feeling absolutely amazing, productive, like, yeah, I got this. The other days I wake up and I'm convinced that by 10 a.m. it's bedtime again. Okay. This is the thing. So here's some of the things that I've been doing that have really been helping me, that I am noticing a massive shift in my body and how I'm feeling. Number 1, can you guess what it is? Eating protein. Seriously, it's been game changer. Making sure that I am getting my protein. I am a protein forward meal planner right now, because if I make sure my protein's in, then I get that in and I feel better. Okay. Number 2, I am taking my magnesium before bed. Hello, actual sleep. My magnesium, I do my magnesium powder with my inner calm before bed, and I chill out and I go to sleep and I feel fantastic. When I notice when I miss this, I get a tossy-turny kind of sleep. Okay. Number 3, giving myself grace on the rough days. This is important because fighting my body is just going to make it worse. Guys, fighting your body is just going to make it worse. There are going to be rough days. You are going through a major transition. I like to remind myself that the caterpillar goes into its cocoon, right? And then becomes this mushy pile of disgusting before it blossoms into a beautiful butterfly. So it's got to give itself the ease and grace to move through that mushy phase. And it's not going to fight itself. It's allowing the rest that it needs. Okay. So the biggest lesson that I have learned that has been bombarding me over and over again in midlife is that it's all about listening to your body, not fighting it. Okay. Like I said, track what's going on, listen, hear, be present for your body. So let's wrap this up. We've been on here for about 25 minutes, so it is time to wrap it up. If you've been feeling okay, like my mood is all over the place, my energy is completely bonkers, my emotions are more insane than I have ever felt in my entire life, guys, you are not crazy. Well, you may be a little crazy. We're all a little crazy, but you're not crazy. Okay, you're not alone. This is temporary. And you absolutely can support your body through this. You don't have to just sit in the muck and the mire of all this crap. You can support your body through this, okay? So if you need guidance, please reach out. I have got you. Join my Facebook group, my private Facebook group just for women. There are so many awesome midlife support hacks, real talk going on in that group. Okay. I share so much in there. There's so much content and value. Okay. There's also my website. There are free yoga classes, free meditations. There's links to everything, all of my books, all of those hormone balancing recipes, everything is on the website, www.victorialifestrategist.com. Okay. Subscribe here, subscribe to the podcast, get the weekly podcast in your ear. Don't sit there feeling alone in your midlife crap. Listen and join in the conversation, okay? Share this podcast with your friends and maybe family members who need to not feel like they are alone as well, okay? So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, for being here, for listening, being present. I truly appreciate you, and I am so grateful for every single one of you that listens, more than you will probably ever know. Now, go take a deep breath, drink your water, and remember, you got this.